back to another episode of Little Great Garage. Today's episode, we're going to be putting on a new light bar that Holley sent me, fixing up the plastics on this with a little blowtorch here, and just making this Cub Cadet riding mower look really nice. So let's just dig right into it. So here's the light bar that Holley sent me, and pretty much swimming in wires right now. We tested this last night, and this light bar is insanely bright. Aluminum casing, really good. And this may look really confusing, but I promise it's very easy. Literally plug and play pretty much. So you're gonna bolt this up to your battery, and this on the negative spot of your battery. Plug this right here into this, and then just hide it all. And then if I can find it, this right here is a sticker. You mount it somewhere, and then your lights will work, and then you just gotta hide all the electronics. So it looks really confusing, but it's pretty much literally plug and play. Just gotta hide it all. I'm just gonna use zip ties to mount this, big zip ties, because why not? And once I put the mounts on, I tested this off camera, it will not fit anywhere in here. So we're just gonna have to set it in here, zip tie it pretty good, and then hide all the wiring with also zip ties. But one trick we're going to do to make this look better, right here is a blowtorch. I tested it right here. See how it's a nicer black? We're gonna blowtorch all the plastic, and it's gonna make it look a lot nicer. We're not gonna do it on the dash. Dash is fine, but then also right over here, we're gonna do it. So we're probably gonna start with that really quick, and then we'll most likely head on to that. All right, we're just gonna do a little test here. Open up the gas. And then once it's kind of like coloring. See how much nicer that makes it look? So we're pretty much gonna do that to the whole lawnmower, at least all the spots that are plastic. So I'm just gonna set a time lapse, and we're gonna get to work. Just finished up this part. Look how nice that looks. It literally looks like it's brand new pretty much. So this is what it looks like after we did that, and this is what it looked like before we did that. It's a very old, sun-faded look of plastic. So we're just gonna get to work on doing this one, and then maybe that'll clean up. All right, just finished up this side. Looks really nice along with the other side. So we are going to go to the parts store later, get a new battery, because the magneto does work on this, or the charger, but the battery just has bad cells, so it won't charge it. And then we can hook up our light bar and get to work on that stuff. But we're gonna see if that blowtorch will make this steering wheel look nicer, because it's pretty bad. That looks. It's like a nice matte finish, and it looks so much better. Alright, so here's the light bar. Like I said, really big, bright aluminum wiring. I guess you call it the wiring harness right there. This is where I'm going to plan on putting it. Lift the hood up. Just gets messed up sometimes. Come on now. There we go. And put it right there, where there is a perfectly little flat surface. It'll fit perfect right there, except one issue. Say we're setting it in here, it fits, but then it hits a nut or a bolt right there. So we're gonna trim that really quick, and then use a Sharpie once it's setting down in there, and trace what we need to cut off up here, and then we'll cut that all out and then mount it, and then take out that battery, hide all the wires and stuff, and then wait to get a new battery. So like I said, we're gonna go today, but I'm not sure when. So I'm gonna go grab the grinder, and we're gonna get that nut off. see if this fits. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And then we'll mount this somewhere along here. But look at that. It literally doesn't even move. So we'll just get that zip tied, but first we're gonna get a Sharpie, mark where we have to cut that out, and then we'll mount it. All right, we're gonna trace where we need to cut out so that the light can actually shine out. All right, I'm gonna throw on my gloves and safety goggles. We're gonna get to cutting. Alrighty, we're gonna put on our gloves again, and then, oh, that's the wrong hand. We're going to try to peel it out. I didn't cut every single spot, but we should be able to do this like that. Wiggle this. Come on. Alright, well I'm gonna grind this off because this is gonna take a while. Look at this, we got it out. So now, let's pop the hood, set the light in here and see how it looks and see if we need to, like trim anything. Perfect. Alright, I have the drill here, just in case we gotta make some custom holes for these zip ties, because I am not seeing any spot that we could use. So, or wait, hold on. Okay, where's the spot? This comes around the back of it. Come on. What the world is even happening? Alright, well that one's on. Now we gotta figure out what to do for the other side. I'm gonna add this to our pile of scrap with our motor deck and all that. Yeah, I can get a few bucks with all of this. that thing is solid in there. I cannot even move it, and I was pushing as hard as I can. I'm gonna go grab some cutters, and we're gonna snip these, and we got a nice light bar, and we just gotta do some wiring. Snip these things off. Then, this foot is really just not happy. There we go. Look at that. That looks really nice. I wish we could have put it up here, but every time you open it, it would have hit and there's no room. So, you know, better than nothing. Alright, so I'm going to zip tie this wire in right now. Put it behind this. Alright, so it's behind that now. We just need to figure out how to mount it to here. We could drill one little hole in the body, bring the zip tie through. I think that's what we're gonna do. Just a little hole right there, and then we can zip tie it all around. All right, got a drill. Mount it about right there. Just like that. We're gonna grab this zip tie. Could do something like this. So normally I'd make another hole to feed it back through. I don't want to make too much holes in this body. That's good enough. Let me get the cutter. Snip-lidge. Now this wire is nicely fed up through here, as you can see. So now I think we're going to get this battery out. I don't know how to do because it's so enclosed here. And then we got to figure out that. The battery out, and right now I'm pretty much just cleaning all this up, making it in a big bundle and wrapping it in electrical tape when I'm done. I took out the dash thing, the hours, because it does not work. I've driven this thing for pretty much a day straight and nothing happened. So we're just going to take it out, probably build something custom for right there. We'll leave the little oil light and all of that, but we're just going to take this part out and we'll have more room. Here's our positive cable, negative cable, and then once I get all this taped up, we're gonna start on all of this. used to look like, all the bundles of wires right here. And it looks way better now. Yeah, this doesn't look the nicest right here and the neatest, but wrapped everything up. Now we have a whole bunch of room. Now that we wrapped that up, made this all look nice, made some more room, we're going to grab this harness and we're going to start just putting stuff together. We have to wait to get a battery to put these on, but we'll have these mounted by where the battery would be. We have to mount our relay, do quite a bit of stuff, so we're just going to get to work on that. I took a break on the wiring for the LED light, for the LED light, and I figured out the hood and I got it to actually sit right now. This is the gap that was supposed to be, fits perfectly around this now instead of being like this tall off of it. So that's really nice. Had to do quite a bit of bending in there, but we got it to work. So now we just got to continue on the wiring. Been about an hour and I finally finished up. This was all the old stuff. This is all the new stuff here. So the battery will slide in right there. This wire goes with these, like that, and then these two wires go with that wire right here. And then, you know, it doesn't look that bad for how much wiring or cords I had to hide. And then I still can't get over how nice this looks from those flames. Anyways, switches right here for the lights. Flick this, lights should kick on, which is nice. And then now pretty much just gotta wait to get a battery and then we can test it. Alright, so now that we finished up the light and are just waiting on a battery now, I cut out this little template here. And it's not exact, but it's gonna be kind of what it is. Since I took out that hour meter, I'm gonna cut out of plexiglass a new cover for this, and we're gonna paint LGG with spray paint. I'm gonna cover it up with painter's tape and then rip off LGG, and then we'll spray paint it so it, you know, leaves the coat. And then it'll be nice clear so that you can still see the lights when you need to. And then, you know, you'll have the LGG. I don't know if I mentioned this, on Carter's mini bike, I actually, off camera, made a custom cover for that chain since my leg got sucked in. So we're gonna kind of make something like that. You know, I'll use some heat to bend it, you know, give it the nice curve, but we're gonna head over to the bench vise with the grinder. We're gonna get to cutting this. Alright, so my dad cut it out for me. I'm gonna have to do some sandpapering and then also need to get off all these marks that are on it. But it's pretty close. I'm gonna go do some sandpaper on the bottom and then we'll come back and figure it out. Alright, well, we just ran to the store, grabbed a new battery. This one is a little bit more powerful, so Should be able to crank over more easily. And then we're gonna pause on this for a second. We need to grind down the bottom, and then we'll be able to fit it in there. I don't know why I set this back in here. But then we'll be able to fit it in there and then do some paint on it. But for now, let's get this battery slid in. Got the battery hooked up. It actually looks pretty nice in here. It's not that bad. Not as bad as I thought it would look, since this thing has so much wires. As you can see, that is on. There is no jump box hooked up to this. And it turns over. I'm not going to try to start it, so we're inside here. It doesn't have enough juice to turn on the LEDs yet. So I say I'm going to pick up really quick. I'm going to go rip this thing around and then come back once it hopefully charged. If it does charge, and then we'll see if the LEDs work.
All right, we're over here messing around with the little mower, and he's got the wiring to the lights all squared away to this switch, but when you turn the switch off, it leaves a red light on. So I'm worried he's gonna end up with a drain. Let's test the factory wiring.
All right, so yeah, there's these factory wires that ran the old headlights. We're gonna see if those work.
So we'll run this guy to ground.
I'm not sure.
I'll hold ground here,
right,
and then test your power on those guys. Go ahead and hold that with your hand, and then I'll turn the ignition on.
All right, turn it on. Not a lot. Oh wait.
We've got a light on the dash. Let me go straight to ground. There we go. So that one,
Got
that
it.
blue wire has 12 volts, and then turns off with the key off, right? So
is the key off?
key is off.
So shaky.
And it's nothing. Key on, 12 volts, right?
So I'd probably want to wire it to this.
Yeah,
so,
so let's test the green wire as well. Key off,
Nothing.
nothing. Key on, nothing. Okay, so check this out. Take that one and put it on the green. Take the black to green.
Right.
And then the red to the blue. And then
Oh, I gotta get better.
use your little vice grip fingers.
Oh yeah.
Lobster claws. Just hold it on the outside of it, touching it. There you go. Okay, so we got nothing, and then key on.
Nothing.
Wiggle them around a little bit. I'll bet you that's a ground.
There we go.
And then key off, 0.
So they're good.
Key on. So remember that you got green is ground, so G for G, and blue is hot. And just wire that straight to your light. And then your light will come on every time your ignition's on, and it won't create a battery draw like this little switch is gonna do.
How would I wire it directly to the thing? So this wire comes up to here,
Watch this.
and then it plugs into like a harness.
Yeah, so what I would do, in order to get, I would cut back here, like this red and black wire.
Yep.
Cut that back and give yourself like a 4-inch pigtail.
What's a pigtail?
That's just a little like extra amount. And then use butt connectors and go black to green and red to blue.
And then how would I turn it on then?
It'll turn on with this.
So whenever I turn the key, the lights will be on?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
So
The one thing I am kind of worried about is it's kind of like a.
I'm just writing here, black to green.
So with that light on, it probably would drain the battery. Me and my dad tested the magneto, and the other battery was bad, but it said it was only charging to 1 volt.
That's probably
So
normal.
it could be from the battery, or that could just be normal.
No, I think the magnetos, they never charge as much as like an alternator. They basically just charge enough
To get it to start
to
again.
keep. No, it's really just to keep the battery up so that it will keep the ignition firing.
Oh yeah, 'cause you.
So it doesn't. The magneto won't charge the battery like as well as an alternator will, but it charges it enough to like keep the ignition running.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it'd be cool. So that right there would turn on the blades, right?
Mhm.
And then that would start spinning this.
Mhm.
I could just weld an alternator right here.
You totally could.
That'd be kind of cool, but that'd be a lot of work.
And
And then
you
it'd
could put a
stick
big
out
old
like
booming
this.
stereo on here.
Yeah, 'cause that would. I probably need a bigger battery. Or
The
no, they
battery,
run
the
to
battery
12
would
volt.
take it. Would
Yeah.
take it. Well, I would say ditch all this and ditch the switch, just
Yeah.
because the switch is going to create a battery draw.
All right, so that was Dirthead Dave with me. He helped me explain. He actually did outlanding lawnmowers 40 miles one time with his friends, and he had a good point. This little light right here, I know it might not be much, but that will drain my battery over time. Then when I go to start it, I ain't gonna have nothing. So, although I love the light and stuff, Holley, we're gonna ditch all of the wiring and use the old headlight wiring, which means Dave tested, still has about 13 volts. So we're just gonna wire this directly to the plug and then just plug it right into the lights. So every time you turn on the ignition, lights will be on, and then it should have enough power to charge, keep the light on and keep the engine running. So I'm just gonna set a time lapse and we're gonna get to work. All right, well I got rid of at least 25 pounds of stuff here. This is all just a wrapped up chunk of cords. Here's another wrapped up chunk of cords. So I'm gonna throw that aside. I'll probably keep it around because, you know, it's a good switch and stuff. A whole bunch of good wire, relay. But now it's time to test it. I used some of these clamp things, crimped them together, and then just quickly, put painter's tape around it. If this works, then we'll make it look nice because it's kind of just hanging here. But when we turn the ignition, they should just always be on. So instead of a switch running the whole time and draining the battery, it'll just only turn on when the ignition's on. So as you can see right now, they are off. We're gonna turn the key. That light came on, and look at this. We got really bright lights. It's day out, and it's shining up this whole part of the shop. So that's really good. So now that works. Now we can continue on this part. About an hour of turning later, look at that perfect fit. So now I'm gonna get this thing taped up, painted, then I'll come back once we have this how I like it, and then I think I'll make a custom LGG license plate for the front. I had one on our golf cart. I don't know if I ever showed that in that episode, but it was a really cool, completely custom painted LGG license plate. So I might go dig around in the forest, because sadly the golf cart's blown up. Maybe rob that off of it, because that would look really nice there or up there, or I can just make two. But I'm gonna get to work on this, and I'll go try to find that plate. Well, I finished up the dash part. I'm gonna let it dry, use some gasket maker around it. Don't know if I'm gonna put anything on it yet. But I'm gonna cruise this down to Diamond Rio, the golf cart, which is in the forest, and I'm gonna grab that license plate. We'll probably throw it on right there. Well, in this episode, we put a Holley light bar on this thing, wired it up to the lights, and the thing that I actually like about it is, as you can see, there's no power, lights, which I don't know if you guys can see this, but lights on, ignition, then starter. But when the engine's running and it's on ignition, the light is off. But then you can switch it back to headlights, and the engine will still stay running, but then your headlights run. So it's kind of like an on and off switch, except there's not a light always on it. So that's really nice. You don't have to have them on if you don't want to. So I thought that was pretty cool. And like always, we still have more episodes coming on this lawnmower. We still have exhaust, seat, and some other goodies to put on this thing. So stay tuned for all that. We still have a whole bunch more junk down at that barn. And there's even another riding mower that is belt driven. So as you can see, we kind of went for more of an off-road style on this. And I did say we are going to do a racing mower, but since it's shaft driven, we can't make it go any faster. So I think you guys are thinking what I'm thinking. The other one's belt driven. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.
Get some.